came across something today, and it mentioned how embarrassment is such an underused emotion. We should make it a point more often to make a fool of ourselves. When I first listened to that, I definitely agree in the sense of we all, or I shouldn't say we, I have found myself very often not doing things or avoiding things just to avoid embarrassment. And especially when I was a lot younger, there were a lot of things that I did to avoid embarrassment and to fit in. And so there's not much good, I think, that can come from living life so passively and so like you're almost walking on eggshells, afraid to mess up, afraid to look stupid in front of other people. And slowly over time, I can see how I was no longer living my life for myself and was just living it just for the sake to appease others, to make myself cool, I guess you could say. But it's like you build this facade about yourself, and the foundation's like a house of cards. The minute somebody wants to check you, question you, or can almost see through the bullshit, it's like you want to crumble. And that's how it was for me. I would put on this facade or act certain ways just for the sake of trying to fit in. But if anybody came to me and tried to test my authenticity, I probably would have crumbled. There's this book by Mark Manson called Models. I believe that's the author's name. And that book completely changed the way that I dated and my interaction, not only with women but with people in general. I initially read that book because like all things, I figured I did not know enough about dating and how to date. And so even at the end of this book, as I don't want to say weird, but I, I don't know, people, even though people may cast judgment or I may look at it as a little embarrassing, in all honesty, that I'm reading a book on how to date and how to talk to women. By doing that, reading that book and taking to heart some of the things that it mentioned, just, completely changed the way I interacted with people and, with women. The main concept, one of the main concepts of the book is basically you cannot be needy. can't need a woman's validation or shit, let alone anybody else's validation. And it's when you can get rid of that neediness, are you actually able to be more yourself, and that is what builds the confidence, which then in turn attracts not only women but just people to you in general. It says that you should be polarizing. Like, not everyone should like you. If, this is narrowing down more to women, but if there are women who do not like you, that should be taken almost as a good sign. And the reason why is because you're showing you're not needy, right? He gives the example of him and his friend at a bar. And I love it because his friend, almost every girl that would walk by, it's a little vulgar, but almost any any lady that would walk by him and his friend, Mark, and I don't know who the other gentleman is, but Mark mentioned in his book that his friend would say, "I'm going to pee in your butt tonight." And what astonished him is how much that worked, right, in picking up women. And so Mark, thinking it was as simple as just copying somebody's lines, tried to tell a girl the next girl that walked by the same thing that his friend would say. But he said it all awkward, all shy, all timid, right? And I can only imagine, even myself right now, saying that to somebody. That's pretty wild. But he said it to the next girl he saw, Mark, trying out what his friend did. And of course that girl slapped him in the face. And what he realized after was that his friend said it to almost every girl that walked by and didn't care what they said back. If they gave him this weird, ugly look or whatever, it didn't bother him. Next girl came by, he was just as confident, and that was him, in a sense. That was the personality of the friend. Of course, when Mark tries to copy it, he's not being authentic. And of course, girls and women, they have, whether it's conscious or subconscious, they can sense BS, especially in a guy. And as a result, when Mark tried it, he would not get the same results. So adding to that point and bringing it back around, what has given me the most success with women and just people in general is essentially not being afraid to embarrass myself, right? And being okay and actually taking it as a good thing that I will not make everybody happy. There will be people who do not like me. And in all honesty, that's kind of a good thing. It is, I do not think it is something that, I don't think it's a flip you can just switch on, especially if you've been avoiding it and living life a little passively for a while. I think it does take some strength to build up to and some time, right? But like with any muscle or anything else, I do think you can work on it, grow it, and make it stronger. For me, how it started was I just started just saying hi to a lot more people. No underlying motive or intention, just simply saying hi to people. And again, obviously not everybody says hi back, but you do get people who say hi to you. And you start to see how um, that feeling of embarrassment and anxiety doesn't have as much control over you. And you kind of just work your way up and up and up and up and up. And I think just naturally you become this gravitational force that people are going to be either heavily attracted to or repelled by. But again, it's leaning into that embarrassment and not purposely doing things to make yourself look stupid. No, but you're willing to almost show sides of yourself and do things as if nobody was watching. Um, and I think the benefit to that is, yes, you may fuck up. Yes, you may stumble in front of people. But I think what people are going to remember more is your confidence in doing the thing, not necessarily the outcome, if that makes sense. Like, if, let's just say, what's a good example? What is a good example? Oh, okay. I remember, this was a while ago now, but I remember there was this one girl's number who I wanted to get. And it was like the classic scenario. She was around all her friends. Well, she was around a couple friends or whatever. Cold approach, by the way. And I remember having that feeling of a little bit of anxiety for sure, a little bit of embarrassment. Just because, nobody wants to get rejected, especially in front of a group of pretty girls. And so what happened was I no longer, the goal wasn't to get the number, the goal was to do the thing and not be scared to do it. So I go up and I approach her in front of her friends and ask her for her number, this, that, and another, blah, blah, blah. And it goes good and I'm successful with it. We never really got a chance to talk about it, but I don't know if, I shouldn't say I don't know. I don't think it was what I said in particular that compelled her to give me her number. I think it was just the fact that what I was willing to do and what I was willing to do given the circumstances and the amount of confidence that it would take to do so. I think that's what speaks to women, what speaks to people in general, and that's really paradoxically like many other things, but it's like embarrassing yourself gets you more women.